to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. As you can see with me tonight, I have another co-host. I'm excited to welcome Will Patterson, host of his own. He has a few different podcasts,
Yes.
but most notably the Tight and Loose Out podcast.
Absolutely.
Welcome. We're
Thank you.
excited to have you on board with the Talk Short Track Racing podcast.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on here. I've been watching this and following this group for a while, and Grant reached out and asked me to come on here and talk about some super modifieds. So I said, sign me up.
Absolutely, they're your favorite.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
And before we get too far into the show, I do want to welcome our presenting sponsor for tonight's podcast. They are located in Polk City, Florida. It is Ink Fluencing Tattoo. They do a phenomenal job. They're very detailed. Grant has recently gotten a few tattoos from them and is very happy with everyone at the shop. And we're very excited to have them on board, not only for the podcast, but also hopefully coming up on some of the racing action. So yeah, if you are in Polk City, Auburndale area, looking for tattoos, they are definitely highly recommended by the Grant Thormeyer Racing group and all of us on the podcast. Welcome aboard, and we can't wait to grow farther with you guys. But yeah, so we're here tonight, Will, to talk a little bit about some short track racing, some super modified action. To kick off the show, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the ASA Redbud 400 at Anderson Speedway from this past weekend. I still feel all jumbled from coming back from Berlin a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. But yeah, so the Redbud 400, Cole Butcher won. He has been on a hot streak this year, and this was not an easy win for him. He qualified 12th and had to race all the way back up to win it. So that was awesome for him and his team again. And then I know, Will, you had some updates from Sandusky.
Yes, yes. We had the High Miler Nationals was this weekend, and we have our guests, but we also had the 350 small block super modifieds also were on hand on Saturday. The winner was Danny Shirey. Second place was AJ Lasecki, and third place was Sawyer Stout. For you guys that aren't familiar with super modified racing, I know that there's been some reels that has been made out there, how they're talking about how these things are fire-breathing dragons and big block 900 horse. Well, the 350 super modifieds are exactly what they are. They're 350 cubic inch crate 604 engines. They run on an 8-inch tire, the same as what you'd run on a super late model. And they don't have the big wide tire like the big block super modifieds do. They're probably about a second and a half slower than the typical big block super modified, but we give them their just dues. On my show, I talk about all things that are super modifieds, whether it be the big block super modifieds or the 350 super modifieds, and Oswego also has another entry-level division super modified. It's called the I want to call them limited super modified, but they also call them SBS, which those guys have a 602 crate engine inside their super modified. So it's a beginner's class, it's a builder's class, a feeder to get to the higher level of super modified racing, I guess you'd want to say. So yeah, if there's anything that you need to know about super modified racing, I'm probably one of the top 5 people in the nation that could answer that question. So yeah.
Which is a perfect segue into announcing our guest for tonight, which is Dave, your dear friend. You've been friends with
Yes.
him. You grew up with him.
Yes.
Dave Shullick Jr. He won his 5th high miler this past weekend, tying his dad in high miler wins. So welcome to the show, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so you won your 5th high miler this past weekend. That's just another thing on the bucket that you can say you've won. But kind of, since a lot of us on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing podcast are newer into some of the super modified stuff, can you tell us a little bit about your early career and what got you started into super modifieds and racing in general?
Yeah, my dad raced for 35 years, and I was fortunate enough to travel the country with him and be a part of his racing career. And I got into super modified. Well, sorry, I got into quarter midgets at the age of 5, and raced quarter midgets from 5 to 16. And we typically raced in the winter because my dad raced all summer. And then at age 16, my dad had a backup car and got in that car at 16 years old. And they would only let me practice the first year. So I would basically practice both practice sessions. And then when it would be time to race, I would get out of the car. And then they would race. And then year 2 is when I finally got my shot with Bill Kovacs and the 34 car that my dad and the crew reworked. So I ran that the whole first year, and then got in my dad's other car for year 2, and that's kind of how my career in super modifieds got started.
Wow. And you've only ever raced super modifieds, right?
Yeah, so quarter midget super modifieds, and then there's been a couple other. I ran an E-Mod once, a sprint car once or twice, but mostly super modifieds.
Have you ever had the itch to get behind anything else or staying with the super mods?
The one thing I could say that I probably really wanted to drive, and it probably would take a shot at some point, Silver Crown car. And it's really because Bill Kovacs, who I drove for my first year, owned a Silver Crown car. And we did everything that we could do to get into that car and just could not make it happen. And it's been something that, I would like to have said that I've done in my career before I'm done. So, I think that would be something that maybe that I would do.
Wow, I never even knew that. That's a great question. Seriously, yeah. Wow, and I've known DJ for a long time. I would love to see you in a Silver Crown car, DJ, for sure.
And
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I can't tell you I'd be any good at it. I've been doing supers for a long time, and it's something I've gotten used to and comfortable with. But it'd be cool to say that I did it.
Absolutely, for sure. So, as she went on to talk about, this is your 5th high miler win. High miler is a very prestigious race for anybody that in the Midwest, super modified fan all across the country. We get people from the New England states, from Maine all the way all through to Ohio. It's a 2-day show. It's a Friday and it's a Saturday race. How did your Friday portion of the race go?
Actually, not as bad as the finish may seem. The car was actually pretty good. We were struggling a little bit. It's a newer motor that we put in it this weekend and a brand new car. So Friday was the very first time we had ran the car, through some bad luck through the first part of the season. But we had put a new rebuilt motor in the car, and we didn't get it till this week, so we didn't have any chance to dyno it or anything. And the fuel system wasn't quite right. We struggled. We were kind of getting killed down the straightaways, and I kind of said to the guys, we need to do something there because we're really struggling. But in the turns, I was as fast or faster than most guys. I'd make up all my time in the turns and lose it all down the straightaways. So we worked really hard Saturday morning to fix a lot of that. And, fortunately, I think we did. And I think, rewatching the tape, I feel like we were at the end of the race and we were pulling most guys down the straightaway or at least off the turns. So I feel comfortable to say we probably fixed a lot of that.
Absolutely. I know that we spoke before the race. For you guys that don't know, I was the flagman for the High Miler Nationals, and I always go through all the drivers, and I start from, the guy in the front row all the way to the back, and I do a walk. I shake hands and I talk with the drivers, and I remember going to DJ and I said, hey, what do you think? And he's like, oh, I guess we're going to find out. So. It was one of those deals where that race was building up to where it looked like it was going to be one of those good, typical, classic high milers. How did the car start out on Saturday for the feature for the 100 lapper on Saturday?
Really good. I was kind of riding early. I was a little on the tight side early. And that's a good sign when you're a little bit snug in the middle, and I was keeping it square and straight, so I wasn't spinning any tires off the turns. And I think you could probably watch the tape and you could see I was kind of, when I was behind Trent, I was kind of just really being gentle with it. And then there was a restart there where I wanted to get track positions. So I kind of, picked it up quite a bit, and that's when I got by Trent and got to the outside of Ordway. But then when I got past Mike, it was way too early for me to go. So I was still trying to slow it down a little bit because I didn't want to burn it up. And then he got back by me. But I really, at that point, really wasn't in the mood to race anyone. I just kind of wanted to save it. But I was trying to get as much track position at that point as possible because sometimes those are positions you don't get back later. Um, that was kind of my thought process, at least midway through the race.
Yeah, and sitting on the flag stand, I kind of just notice those type of things. When I have to watch and see who's going, side by side, neck and neck, and I got to kind of just follow that just to make sure, if there's a caution that might come out. And it's definitely one of those situations where you could kind of see the boys were riding a little bit early in the race. They really were, and you could kind of see things were coming. But then a caution come out with about, I want to say it was just after halfway. Were you kind of playing track position, waiting for cautions to come out to make your move to pass more cars?
You can never really wait for a caution because our car count wasn't stellar this past weekend, so you don't know when the cautions are going to come, and if you wait for one, you're going to be in trouble. So I really was trying to be smart and keep the leaders in check. I think um, around lap 40 to go, it was Barnes, Ordway, and me nose to tail. I was keeping him in check, and I could see their cars starting to go away a little bit. I could see Ordway; he was tight in the middle, but then he was starting to wag a little off, and then I could see Barnes starting to wag a little bit off the turn, and I was still really good. So I was trying to just kind of wait them out a little bit for the right time. And unfortunately, Michael had his issue. And then on the restart, I capitalized on that restart and got by Ordway there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was definitely one of those deals where it seemed like you really found the second groove, which I had talked with a driver, uh, Mike McVetta, after the race, and I said, when did you guys realize that the second groove at Sandusky actually works in a super modified?
Yeah, I've been doing it since 2010. I think I have a lot of history at that track and know how to run it. And most high milers. Okay, I'll tell you this. So in 13, 16, 18, I ran 75% of the high miler in a second groove.
Hmm.
When it's go time, I drop to the bottom. I'll run the bottom. This year, I moved up specifically to block Ordway's line because I seen when I was behind him, he was running the outside, and he needed that because his car was tight in the middle. Um, so I moved up to take that line away from him. And when I moved up, my car was actually better up there anyway. So I was like, well, I'm just going to stay here the entire race. And as long as he was behind me, I was committed to that outside line and I was committed to taking the outside line on the restarts. So, um, that's why I run the outside line.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it seemed like at that point, it's funny because once he found that second groove was running, he just moved up and he never came off of it. He just stayed up there the whole time, and he was just literally just as we say in racing, walking the dog on him every time, every lap. So it was just
But
phenomenal.
I would add to that is like it's not just running the second groove. It's running. You got to find the line off the turn where the grip is.
Hmm.
Sometimes you come off high and you're loose, and sometimes you come off low and you're loose, and sometimes you come off in the middle and then there's grip there. So you kind of got to search a little bit. Even though you're high, you still got to search for that exit line to where there's grip.
Okay. Yeah. So there was a fuel stop with 4 laps to go. So for you guys that don't know, super modifieds are not like super late models or your typical stock cars. They
Yeah.
have fuel cells in the back. And the rule of thumb is for a 100-lap race, race for 100, but fuel for 150. So when there's caution laps, they count those laps also as well. So uh, once they get to 150 laps, in the point to the point of the race, they will red flag the race and have cars come, have crew members come out, fuel the cars. And it just so happened there was a caution come out. I think it was with 4 laps to go. They threw the red flag because they had already exceeded over 150 laps, had crew guys come out, fuel the cars up. And did what was your thoughts when that? I was mad as a flagman. I'm like, I want this race to be over with. And but when that red flag come out, what was your thoughts about the car? Did you tell the guy? And by the way, you can't set the car up. You can't touch the
You can
tire
only
pressures.
fuel.
You can only
Yeah.
fuel. That is it. It is fuel and fuel only. They'll have officials at every car, or standing in between two cars, just to make sure that nobody is touching those cars during that fuel stop. Did you think that adding fuel to the car was going to change the setup of the car?
No, I wasn't worried about that. I knew that I was rolling the center of the corner pretty well. Someone was going to have to be pretty fast to get by me, specifically underneath me, because where I was running. They were going to have to go by me on the bottom. So felt like at that part of the race, and I know going back to green, it was going to be a single file restart. So with a double file restart, you just never know. You could slip something, you could push up, anything could happen. But on a single file restart, as long as I hit my marks, we were going to be okay. We probably put, being a brand new car, I mean, it's never been across the scales. We put the car together last minute. There was a lot of questions, about things, and I just wanted to make sure we probably put way more fuel in it than we probably needed, just to make sure on weight and all that stuff that we were going to need. So, we probably played it safe as far as the fuel game goes, but hey, it all worked out in the end.
Right.
And as far as you were mentioning, you knew that it was going to be a single file restart going back to that last restart. And I'm new to super modifieds. I've only ever seen them on the track once at Berlin. But how do they decide, or is that something that when it's going to be single versus double?
Yeah, I think ISMA's rule, and I don't run as much ISMA as I used to, but ISMA's rule is inside of 10 laps, it's single file. Before the 10 laps, it's double file, except if there's a caution before a lap is completed, then it would be single file after that. So Jeff Lickfeld, who's the race director, told us at lap 11 that would be the absolute last double file restart. And it was inside 10 laps, so I was pretty sure that would be a single file restart.
Okay, because you guys have one-way communication with the race director. You guys don't have spotters or anything either.
Nope.
Correct. That is correct.
How does that, coming from a super late model kind of person and short track racing?
No mirrors either, folks.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. So how is that kind of like, as you're saying, is it all just listening, going back to kind of the basic skills you're learning when you're karting and stuff?
Yeah, it's just, you kind of go by feel when you're by somebody, when you can see them in peripheral vision, left or right, when they're on the inside or outside. But yeah, we only get one-way communication from the tower, and the drivers will tell you that when the radio is keyed, when we're under green, that generally means it's a caution. So a lot of times when the radio is keyed, we start slowing down. So the first word that's spoken is usually caution. So we try to be, cautious when we do hear the radio keyed.
Yeah, because you guys are like going really quick. So it's hard to say. As soon as you guys hear that little blip of something, I'm sure you're like, slow up. You don't know where it is yet unless you see it.
Yeah, usually they'll say like, hey, caution, turn 3, simple spin, something like that.
Yeah.
On the radio.
Wow. Yep. Yeah. That is something that is completely wild for me to understand as being in short track racing more so, that you guys are completely no mirrors, no spotters. That is definitely something that you guys have to get used to, and makes, the horsepower, the speed you guys are going even more impressive. And it would be hard to have a spotter because of how quick everything happens.
Yeah, at Oswego Speedway, where we run a lot, I actually have a guy in the turns giving me hand signals, and I can see him almost every lap. At Sandusky, there's really no place for that driver or that spotter to stand. There's no place where we can see anyone. So at Sandusky, we have zero, information about what's going on behind us or how close they are. A red flag, like that at 4 laps to go. I may ask questions like, hey, where's Mike running, low or high? How close is he? Things like that. And that'll give me an idea of what I'm up against.
Yeah, but you have none of that communication. So it's all just
zero.
Go for it. Hope for the best and do your best. And that's all you can do.
Yep.
Well, in
That's
Oswego, they
exactly
got
right.
this big mega Teletron TV over in turn
On the
one.
straightaway, look
Yeah,
at
and they're
it.
literally going down the straightaway. They're looking right at it. So if they're in the lead, they can see how far that guy is behind them. So, yeah. Which, by the way, there might be something coming up about that in the future, but we'll talk about that on another date, though. But yeah, but no, just you wind up going. You wind up getting the win. Emotional for so many people. It's your owner's first ever ISMA win, and you wind up bringing him home one of the crown jewels of super modified racing. Uh, what what was the words in the pit, or even like after he hugged you? I mean, what was that emotion like?
If anybody knows Chris Osetic, um, he is not a very excitable guy. He doesn't really show a lot of emotions. You would think he just, you know, had a good day at work or something. Like he was just totally even keeled. But I can tell by talking to the guys, they're all on cloud nine to get this win. It was something that they wanted. I know when I talked to Chris, like after we took the lead with about 30 laps to go, like he went back in the pits. He didn't even watch the end of the race. Brian actually had to walk back and tell him we won. So
Wow.
um, he was that nervous at the end. Just being a new car, and things could happen. You know what I mean? Anything could happen. We actually, this is another scenario is that we had a fuel pickup problem on that car that we fixed right before the high miler, and we really didn't know if it was going to pick up all the way to the end. So there was a lot of unknowns that all worked out in our favor. But yeah, they were definitely they worked hard for this one to get the car there, and the investment and getting a motor last minute. They deserve this.
Yeah, for sure. So, for you guys that don't know, in super modified racing, I had brought up fuel, and they actually, and I believe your car, you have 3 fuel cells in that car.
Yes, there was 3 fuel cells in that
Yeah,
car. Yeah.
you have one in the front of the driver's feet. You have one on the left side, right behind the engine, and you have one right behind the driver himself. Was you worried about transferring fuel over at all at some time, at any point in the race, on whether that fuel would transfer over?
No, I mean we tested the pump over and over and over again. I knew the pump was functional. It's more of a question of when you're going to move it,
Right.
based on car handling. You never, being a new car again, never had a situation where I've had fuel on the left side of the car, and then when you move the left, every car acts a little different. When you have fuel on the left and when you move fuel off the left. So because we were so good, I was kind of trying to move it a little bit at a time, but I can't really tell how much is moved at what time. So at the end, I really just wanted to make sure that everything was off the left side. You know what I mean? I knew we were running long on cautions, and I didn't want to leave anything in that left cell, and then we run out of fuel. So it was probably pumping a dry cell for quite a while, but it just was just trying to be extra careful.
So when you're under green, I'm just trying to educate everybody out here. You're actually flipping the switch under green to pump fuel from the left side to the rear cell.
Yeah, it could be under green, under caution.
Yeah.
I think in this race, the first time I flipped it was under a caution. I don't remember what lap it was, but I turned it on for a few laps and then turned it back off. And then I turned it back on a little bit later and turned it back off. And then I did it a few more times. And then I think it was like 60. I just left it, turned it and left it on. And then there was late in the race. I didn't want to like just let it pump. So I shut it back off. And then with like 10 to go, I turned it back on again just to make sure it got everything out of it. So, um, yeah, you never know. So I just wanted to double check.
That's good.
So is there any way of no, like, because you're saying you don't have an indicator of which cell has how much fuel when you're switching them. So is there a way, can you kind of feel it when you're driving, or is it just luck of the
No.
draw?
Yeah, so some cars in our other car, our Sawyer car, actually has a return back to the side cell, so it won't actually overfill the back cell. So it just returns the fuel back to where it came from. This car actually wasn't plumbed that way, so it could actually blow up the back cell. So I had to be a little bit careful not to blow up the back cell. So I had a little bit of thinking to go there that I didn't want to overfill and blow it out of the overflow and run out of fuel. So um, yeah, a little bit extra thought going on there, but that's about it.
Wow. So on top of having to listen and watch for your own competitors. You've got to think about the fuel. So you guys really do have a lot going on inside the the car there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
there's a lot. I mean, it's when to transfer it, how to transfer it, what's too much, what's not enough, and there's um, and at the end of the day, you just don't want to run out. And that's you got to get there. I've ran out of fuel before leading the classic, and that's scarred me for life. So,
Gee, you got to bring it
it's
up, DJ.
yeah.
It still hurts my soul, and I'm not even the driver. But yeah,
Well, the only reason I can talk about it is because I came back in the next year and won it. So,
yeah, it's true.
um, that helped me get over it.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Plus, he won a classic because somebody ran out of fuel in front of him also as well too. So
So a little bit of
Yeah.
what goes around has to
yeah,
unfortunately.
the super modified gods repaid him. Repaid him, that's for sure. So yeah, so but talk about the five that we had did this pre
Yeah,
you
so
know
he
yeah, talk about that.
yeah, so this is your fifth win. Is there
Yes.
your fifth high miler? And I know your dad won the first one, and I don't know if I'm feeding into any sort of controversy here or not. But it could possibly, rumor has it, be one of the last high milers. What does,
Yeah.
if it is, and you and your dad have the first and the last, how much would that mean to you?
That would be awesome. I mean, I obviously don't want to see the track go away. I mean,
No.
it's been home to us for, my dad raced there. I raced there weekly when we first started. It's been home to us pretty much our entire career. And anytime we go back there, it's just an awesome feeling to be back on that track and be home. But if it's the last one, I don't think there's any other way to close it out. To have him win the first one, to have me win the last one, and to both have five. I think that's pretty special. After we got four, the next few years we really put a lot of focus on trying to win that five, and I feel like this year we just came in and took care of business, and I didn't even think about the five,
Yeah.
and it just happened. So, um, yeah, that I think to close the books and have five each is pretty cool.
Yeah, and are you, since you have that five, are you planning next year? Hopefully the track is still there and everything is, we're going for a round two. Are we planning on being back next year for number six?
Yeah, we'll definitely be back. I was mentioning in the call or before the call. The goal was always to win five. It was never to win six. The goal was always to tie my dad, not beat him. And I don't know how I would feel about winning number six and knowing that I would take it from him. So obviously, I would come back. Obviously, I would do what I could to win. I wouldn't, try any less hard. But I would be mighty fine ending my career, or ending my career, at least it's in the Speedway with five of these.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a emotional time for me. I am friends with Danny Shirey that won the 350 super modified race. DJ wound up winning the High Miler Nationals, and I have flagged at Sandusky Speedway for many, many years, and I love that track just as much as DJ does. It's my home, it's the same as it is his. We both grew up together. Our dads were I wouldn't say they're best friends, but they're good friends. We sat next to each other up in the grandstands or across the aisle from each other as kids growing up. DJ's mom was is and always will be a wonderful woman, but I just felt that it was time for me to say, you know what, if I'm going to hang up the flagging, this is the time to do it. I sat up on the flag stand. I think there was 10 laps to go when a caution come out, and my wife taps me on my back and says to me, she goes, if he wins this race, you're hanging it up, aren't you? And I said, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And so she says, she goes, I said, yeah, so don't cheer too hard for DJ.
Yeah.
She wants to go on vacation. She knows what Sandusky means to me, but yeah, so she's like, yeah. So he winds up winning it, and I think I walked past her. I said, that's it, I'm done. So I came down here and I turned to you, and that's what I said to you. I said, that's it, brother, I'm done. I'm finished. That's it for me. So
Will, I did try to put in a good word for you for next year. I was telling her you got to let him come flag. It's got to be it's going to have to work
Not
out.
getting out of it that easy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, you ain't going to be the only one trying to put in a good word to get me to come back one more time. That's for sure. This is already my second farewell retirement from Sandusky Speedway. I keep getting sucked back in, but Maybe
Yeah,
if they have one more, I don't know. We'll have to talk to you. You guys are going to have to really butter Gene up, man, to get me to come on out there. I'm telling you right now. But
we could do it.
maybe you can talk Oswego in and let me come up there and flag a race. But
I already started laying that groundwork. We could make
good,
that happen.
good. But yeah, so is there anything more you would like to?
I think let's just wrap up by Dave. What's up with the rest of the year for you? Where can we find you next, and where can our followers find you on social media to follow the rest of your season?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and Instagram at the Shoot Two. But we're leaving for Oswego Speedway tomorrow morning, and I race in Oswego this weekend, and then next weekend we have the 10,000 to win race at Oswego Speedway, and then the following week, I think we have a week off, and then we have Classic, which is our biggest race of the year, a 20,000 to win, biggest race for super modifieds in the country. And then after that, I think we have a week off, and then we go up to Evans Mills in upstate New York for an ISMA race. And then a few weeks off, and then we find ourselves down in North Carolina at Caraway, which is a really awesome racetrack in mid-November. Leaves are on the ground. It's a great race, and usually we have a lot of fans from North Carolina and surrounding NASCAR country that come down and support us. So it's going to be a great remaining schedule, and we're looking forward to finishing out the season with some momentum.
DJ is also in a really tight points battle at Oswego too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's going to come down to the last race, I think, between him and Otto Sitterly. I know he's being kind of modest right here, but folks, if you have the Flow app and you guys watch Flow Racing at all, Flow has Oswego Speedway on there weekly. So go ahead and tune into Flow and watch Oswego Speedway on there. I'm telling you guys right now, you won't be disappointed. These are the most gnarliest, meanest, nastiest, fire-breathing dragon race cars you've ever seen in your life. And watching them on TV does not serve them justice. I'm sure you.
Yeah, I can attest.
Yeah.
Seeing them in person at Berlin on that backstretch, that was something. That was cool. You could see the air coming spiraling off the
Yep.
back wing. It was really cool.
I'm telling you right now, and come to Oswego for the Classic. Labor Day weekend. I'm telling you, Grant says he's coming. I call BS. I'll believe it when I see it. But if Grant comes, I'm telling you right now, you need to bring Erin. I'll give her the VIP tour. Trust me, I'm telling you guys right now, she's going to love it because it's a good time. And DJ will tell you right now, it's not just the race. We're all having a party and a race broke out. That's
Yeah.
classic.
That sounds like my kind of thing.
I go up on Wednesday just for a gig race, which is they make homemade wooden carts and they race them down the hill in front of the racetrack. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, I was going to say this is alleged.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
But it is a fun weekend, and everybody hangs out and has some drinks and parties and races, and it's a fun event to close out the season at Oswego.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely.
It is definitely a bucket list for me. If I don't make it this year, for sure, it is next year. But I definitely want to come up and see it. I've heard all about it, and now I have the itch to go.
Yes,
So
I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. I mean, campsites have bands, we
Wow.
have DJs, and my campsite this year, we're going to have a dunk tank. We're going to put race car drivers in a dunk tank to
Oh, good Lord.
Oh,
to
boy.
give money to racers and stuff like that. So
Wow.
yeah, we're still working out the kinks on that one right now with one of my sponsors, but on my show. And but yeah, we do a whole food thing, and I'm telling you guys right now, it's an experience. It's an experience. Grant's over here telling me, yeah, I'm going.
stay less.
So yeah, but I'm telling you. So DJ, thank you for coming on here and being a part of this, and I appreciate your friendship and your family and everything that you've done for super modified racing. Congratulations on your 5th high miler win, and we'll pass it on over to Erin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave, for coming on to Let's Talk Short Track Racing tonight. And yeah, congratulations on your 5th high miler, and good luck throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks for making me the first one on the show from the super modified category, and good luck, Will, with the rest of your shows, and hopefully you have some more super modified drivers on.
For
Hey, DJ,
sure.
one more thing before you go. You got anybody you'd like to thank? Any sponsors, family, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this 100 times. I have to thank Chris and Aaron Osetic for their, commitment to, I didn't mention this in our call, but early in the year we blew a motor in that car early in the year, and Chris went out and bought another engine just to get us to the racetrack at Berlin, and unfortunately we blew that one in hot laps, practicing to get ready for Berlin. So yeah, he had to get another motor together, third motor together to make it to the high miler. And if we wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't even have been there. So a big thank you to them to just make it possible and the commitment to do it. The crew, the hard work that it takes to come up to Oswego, or sorry, to come up to Sandusky and run the race, and just, to commit to come away from your families and stuff for the weekend. TJ Toyota, for all that they do and the support they give us, Riverwalk Oswego, Old City Hall Brewery, Holiday Inn Express of Oswego, all our sponsors and partners that make it possible for us to go out and race and do it at the level we do it. So, that's we couldn't do it without all of them.
For sure. And yeah, thank you again, Dave, for coming on, and we will be following you and wishing you the best for the rest of your season.
Thank you.
See you in a couple weeks, DJ.
Yep, see you.
All right, and we will be back right after these messages to do a little bit of tech talk with Will about his experience flagging at Sandusky.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Surprise!
Okay.
Buying or selling a home? It's more than a transaction, it's a strategy. I'm Amy Lynn, and I bring clarity, confidence, and results to your real estate journey. Whether you're searching for the perfect place to call home or preparing to list your home for top dollar, I've got you covered. With smart marketing, strong negotiation, and a network you can trust, I don't just help clients close, I help them win. Let's make your next move the right one.
Racecar Engineering is your single source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Racecar Engineering, 800-882-7231.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. I am back with Will. That was a really great episode. I have to keep remembering to talk into the mic. I'm bad about turning my head. That was a really great episode we had in chat. We had talking to Dave about his 5th high miler win.
Yes.
And it was really cool hearing that he doesn't want a 6th.
I don't know if he
Doesn't want it,
Yeah.
but he's not going for it.
You're right.
It's not an initial thought.
Exactly. But I think once he puts that helmet on,
The driver and him's coming out. You can't.
Absolutely.
But we're going to go ahead and go into a little bit of tech talk with you.
Okay.
We've never had a flagman on before.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about how you got it, how long you've been flagging, how you got into it. Is it just Sandusky?
Okay.
A lot thrown at you there.
Yeah, okay. So I started flagging back in like 2010 at Sandusky Speedway on a joke. We were literally, we went to an indoor race at Atlantic City called the Gamblers Classic, which they run like these mini super modifieds. Go figure, right? So we were stuck in Atlantic City in traffic, and a buddy of mine says, "Hey, what, Sandusky Speedway, they're looking for a flagman." I said, "How funny would it be if I became the flagman?" And my buddy's like, "Dude, that would be really cool." And I was like, "Do you think so?" He goes, "Yeah." So I applied and wound up getting it, and the funny thing is, the owner of the racetrack at the time still owns it now. I actually, as a teenager, worked on his super modified, so it was kind of just like a match made in heaven. He's like, "Absolutely, come on over here and flag." So I started doing that around 2010, and all the way up to 2014, I moved to Florida, and I stopped flagging for, I would say, probably about a year and a half or so. And then 417 opened up.
Okay.
And 417 opened up on a Friday initially, and they had their flagman, and I didn't go on the
And
Friday.
that's down in Punta Gorda,
Yeah,
right? Or was?
Yeah, it was down in Punta Gorda. Yeah, now it's the closed, racetrack down there in Punta Gorda. And they wound up, they didn't like the flagman that they had on the Friday, so I'm sitting there on Saturday, and I'm waiting for my wife to get out of the shower. She was girlfriend then. And I'm waiting for her to get out of the shower so I can get in the shower so we can go to the racetrack. And it was like around like 3 or 4 o'clock or something like that. And my phone rings, and I don't know who it is. And I answer it, and it was Joe Gentry. And Joe Gentry says, "Is this Will Patterson?" I said, "Yes, it is." And he goes, "I heard you're a flagman." I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "I need a flagman tonight." And I said, "Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I'll come flag." Never flagged a race before in Florida in a day of my life. And went to the bathroom. I told the wife, I said, "Put the gas to her." I said, "I got to get in the shower next because I got to go flag." Now, at this time, my wife never watched me flag before. She just watched me do some go-kart races and stuff like that, so she didn't know. But if anybody's ever watched me flag, I'm very animated when it comes to flagging. I twirl the flags, and I do halfway and 2 to go. And I'm not your typical guy out there just, just dropping the flag. I get very much into it. And so, yeah, I wound up doing that for a couple of years. And then finally I just said, you know what, when it's not fun no more, that's when you just got to stop doing it. I would still fly up to Ohio, and I would still flag high miler up there for them, and as I continue to do now. And so, yeah.
So what kind of inspired the really getting into it?
You know what? I always looked at flagging. That's a great question, seriously. I look at racing, excuse me. I look at racing as a circus, to be honest. And the ringmaster for the circus is the flagman. He's the guy that wears the red coat and says, "Look over here, and look over here, and we got this, and we got that."
This is what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, without using words.
Exactly, right. Yeah. And it's entertainment. We're an entertainment business, and racing is entertainment. And if you can't entertain the fans, then you're just not doing your job. So I looked at it as that. I've watched past flagmen from when I was a child growing up, and they were very much, they dressed the part, they looked the part, they act the part, they, yes, Grant, they put their flair on to it, and that's what I did. I put my own flair to it, and I put my jazz, as I like to call it, to it, and the fans really seem to like it. They seem to love it, and I literally, when I go to High Miler, I get a cheering section. So they always yell, "Throw the white willy,"
And you also dress up for flagging.
Yes.
A lot of flagmen wear just shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah,
But
yes.
I saw at Sandusky you were in nice slacks and a button-up.
Yep. That's just like I tell everybody, it's not for the job that you got, it's for the job that you want, and it's the ringmaster. So you got to be that ringmaster type of guy, and Sandusky does not have a scoreboard. So
Okay.
you don't know what lap they're on. You don't know if they're on lap 5 or if they're on lap 25.
So everyone's watching you.
Exactly, yeah. So when he gets those arms in the air, and I start swinging them flags around, like, "Oh, we're coming to halfway,"
They know.
So, exactly. So, it's just one of those things where it's all flagmen. I don't know if any flagmen are watching this or not, but like I was told, don't be the show, but be a part of the show. And entertain. Don't just sit up there and just wave a flag. If you're not having fun, don't do it. And that's just the way I look at it. And That's what I had when I was down here in Florida. I just wasn't having fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go play on race cars again. I wanted to go work on those. And that's what I'm doing now, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, but very limited part-time now compared to what it used to be, so, yeah.
And I guess the final question is, I know some flagmen have to have their own particular flags. So do you travel with your flags, or do you use whatever the track has?
Whatever the track has, I make it work, yeah. I do buy my own checker flags when I go up to High Miler at Sandusky Speedway, and I have the drivers all autograph that flag. And I do buy that flag, and that flag gets hung on my wall for a year until I go flag the next one, and then I give that flag to the winner from the year before. But yeah, I've never bought a set of flags.
Wow.
Never bought a set of flags.
Because some flagmen swear by
really?
having their own and travel with their own everywhere. And
I have went and got something going on here. I have gone and flagged for series where flagmen did not like to have other people use their flags. They did not like that. So I actually had to bring my flags from my track that I was at for me to flag, because I was told, like, hey, look, you got to have to bring your own flags because this flagman does not like other flagmen touching his flags.
interesting.
Yeah, so I've flagged the sprint car series across to Michigan and Ohio, and their flagman, he was very particular about their flagging. Yeah, for the Auto Value Super Sprints. The main event series, not so much for the super late models up out of Michigan and Ohio. I could use his flags, but yeah, he's like, you better not. He'd get done. We'd go from one series to the next. He'd take his flags out. And
Wow.
he'd put them in the bag.
Passionate.
Like, you're not touching my flags. Like,
So
all right.
what is Sandusky going to do if you're not coming back? Continuing the tradition with the signed flags? And
You know what?
If you're-
Go ahead.
if you're retiring, is it, I mean, maybe not.
I'm retiring from flagging High Miler. I'm done.
Okay.
If they do have another High Miler next year, if I do go, I want to sit in the grandstands with my friends.
Enjoy it.
And I want to enjoy it. It's been a long time since I've sat in the grandstands with my friends, drink some beers,
Enjoy it.
have some food and tailgate with the boys, and just have a good time and just walk around and say hi to everybody and not be in a rush and just catch up on old times. And I miss that, and I have a lot of friends out there that I really feel that I need to do that with them. So if they do have it one more time, I'm not going to flag it. I'm done. But I do want to have fun with my friends, though, because that's what racing's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about having fun.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're not having fun anymore, why do it? So it's time to go
Exactly.
back just as a fan
Right.
and enjoy it. Well, thank you so much for coming on to
Yep.
Let's Talk Short Track Racing with me.
Yep.
Excited in the future. We will be having you on more
Right,
to talk not only about super modifieds, but we're going to get you a little bit on the Let's Talk Short Track Racing side and talk
yeah.
some short track racing.
Absolutely.
You're pulling me to talk about some more super modified stuff.
Yep. And just to let you guys know, it's not just super modifieds. I like racing. Okay, I don't care if it's super late models, super modifieds, dirt, asphalt, World of Outlaws. If it's on TV, it's got four wheels and it's taking left-hand turns, I'm watching it, all right? And I'm up to date on it. So
Yes, that is what we are about here at Let's Talk Short Track Racing.
Right.
We're the same way. We all, if it's got four wheels and it's turning left, I mean, even some left rights. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't do too much of the left rights,
Right,
but
right.
I've been pulled into that world too a little bit. So,
Understand.
but yes, thank you so much for coming on, and
was
we
a
look
pleasure.
forward to having you again. Is there anyone from your podcast? I know you have several sponsors over there. Would you like to thank anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Fisher Custom Graphics. I'd like to thank Kingsley's Mowing. Rupert's Party Rentals over here from Tight and Loose Out. They're really big supporters of mine, and without them, I wouldn't have my show. My show is on Facebook, and it's on my own personal page, William Patterson. You'll also find it on Tight and Loose Out social media Facebook page also as well. I post it on all the Super Modified social media pages. So if you guys want to go ahead and go check out some past shows, feel free to go on over there. And I keep it lighthearted, not saying that this isn't lighthearted, but we have fun. We crack up and crack jokes, and there's a lot of inside jokes that I like to tell with drivers and stuff like that. And we'll smirk and crack up and have a good time. So, and I'm sure when we bring other guests on here in the future, there's drivers that I know that I'll be able to go ahead and, crack jokes with.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yep.
let us know when are your episodes and how can we watch those?
Well, normally they're on Wednesdays, but I think we're going to go ahead and have to move this because I'm having too much fun over here with these guys over here. So I think we might have to go ahead and move this to Thursdays. So I don't know. It's not 100% official yet, but let me get talking with my production over there and whatnot. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out or whatnot. But yeah, right now it's only super modified. That's all we talk about. And we have ourselves a good time over there. And I know that a lot of my super modified friends are like, is the show canceled? You having a show today? Like, look, everybody,
Calm down.
Yeah, we're just doing a combination show here.
A little collaboration.
Collaboration. That's the word I was looking for. Yes. So yeah. But no, thank you to all the show sponsors. Thank you to all my sponsors. I don't know. Maybe this marriage isn't going to work because we got Michigan over here. Everybody knows I'm Ohio State. I don't know. So yeah.
It's a little pull and
Yeah.
tug.
November's going to be fun. Thanksgiving weekend's going to be fun around here. I can tell you that right now. Yeah. So.
We're gonna have some friction here.
Oh yeah,
a little
for
friendly
sure.
banter.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
not so friendly that week.
We're gonna have Grant's wife sitting in your seat. I think it might turn into a football show.
Steer clear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming,
Thank
and
you very much.
our followers, be sure to check out Will's shows, our show, and thank you so much, and we will.
Appreciate it.
I don't know exactly our next show together, but I am looking forward to it. And stay tuned for everything that is come here at Grant Thormeyer Racing and Let's Talk Short Track Racing.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Race Car Engineering is your single source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Race Car Engineering, 800-882-7231.
Buying or selling a home? It's more than a transaction. It's a strategy. I'm Amy Lynn, and I bring clarity, confidence, and results to your real estate journey. Whether you're searching for the perfect place to call home or preparing to list your home for top dollar, I've got you covered. With smart marketing, strong negotiation, and a network you can trust, I don't just help clients close, I help them win. Let's make your next move the right one.